Today is Saturday, May 24th, and this is the beginning of your multi-part farm garden tour for this weekend. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, it is absolutely beautiful out here today. Hopefully we are past all of the frost. From our last video, we hit 28 overnight. We lost some starts that were not protected for 28 degree weather. They were protected for 33, 32, but not 28. That's a little too low. There was another 28 degree overnight this past week. So I guess it's a good thing that we didn't put anything in the garden because it wouldn't have been protected. But Troy and I have been talking a lot over the last 3 weeks about, okay, when everything does go in, are we going to tent them with plastic of some sort to try and protect them just in case? And we're still having those conversations. So over the course of the next couple of days, because this is Memorial Day weekend, we have a 3-day weekend. Woohoo! We'll talk about whether or not we're going to tent what we plant to protect it from any possible cold overnights. So what I've done so far this morning, you can see this black tubing. We are redoing our irrigation system. That stuff came in a big roll. We had it stretched out across the grass to take the kinks and the curl out of it. That worked really well, but now we need to mow the lawn. So I dragged it inside the garden so that we can mow the lawn today or this weekend. Joel's working on that in the background right now. And what I've done so far this morning is kind of taken a realistic look at what might be viable and what's not. I think that's what we're going to do here. We are going to plant what looks like it might come back, assess what looks like it's a lost cause, and then potentially go buy some tomato starts from a greenhouse locally here, try and support the local economy to supplement. So here's what we've got. I'm going to be standing right here casting a shadow, I'm sure. But the way I sorted these, this is a newer planting. We started planting our seedlings in March, and then we had another round about mid-April because we were waiting on some seeds to come. So these are the newer ones, or the most recently planted. And this guy looks pretty good. You can tell he's been nipped. This is an Amish paste. If you look real close at the stalk, you can see there's some nice furry little fingerlings there. If those go into dirt, then they become roots. So that's my thought process here, and that was kind of our thought process with these taller guys and why we ended up staking them. Normally we do not do that because we want the tomatoes to become tall and robust and able to hold themselves up. But what we found with some of these guys, since they were getting so tall, is they were leaning over and those furry little fingers were rooting in the pots next to them. So anyway, that was kind of the methodology I'm using here as I go through these. If these stalks appear to be healthy on these bigger guys, even though the foliage is, dead and wilty, this is not mushy, and it's still got nice fur on it. So I think if I bury it deep enough, that might have a fighting chance of coming back. So these guys I think they were too little, not well enough established. I'm going to call them a lost cause. So there's 18-ish tomatoes that are lost right there. And if we come over here, I've got some more that I just don't think are going to make it. Now here, this guy has got those little fingerlings, those little bits of fur. But if you look down here, there's a choke point, and it just looks dead. I do not think he's going to make it. I was joking with Troy, and I said, we're going to set aside the ones that aren't going to make it, and lo and behold, they'll probably grow and produce. You just never know. So all these guys down here, I think I'm going to pass on, not put them in the dirt. and these guys here, I think I'm gonna pass on. So bummer, we did lose quite a few, but we'll see what we can salvage, and like I said, fill in the blanks with what we can find at the local nursery. Yeah, so as the day goes on, that is my plan, is to put these tomatoes on the ground. Also, our brassicas will go on the ground, and some of the herbs that we've got here. Oh, I haven't even... Oh, the brassicas I already put in the garden. I'll show you those in just a second. But some of these herbs look really good. Like, this is thyme. Well, you can probably see the labels. This is Lovage, and it, I've never used it, but what I read about it was that it kind of has a celery taste. We got rosemary, oregano, English lavender, and my borage looks really decent over there. Johnny Jump Ups, those are just flowers. They're doing great. I don't know if this coleus is going to survive or not. And then we have celery that did pretty good. These nasturtium, I don't think I'm going to plant them. I don't know if I'm going to start them next year, just because they get kind of wild and crazy, but I think that these guys will survive if I put them in dirt. We had some pretty pitiful ones last year that kept getting passed over to get planted, but when they finally got put in the dirt, they took off and did wonderful. Here's my sad basil. There's a few that I can pick out of there and plant. What I'm unsure of at this point is, if you look, I don't know if I can get a good example of this. If you look down here, like this guy, he's totally dead from about 1 inch off the dirt up, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to support additional growth and additional life. So it's going to be hit and miss. We'll see what we can do. Here we've got sweet marjoram. These are some purple basil, and this is limoncello basil. This is my favorite one, unfortunately. I like to make tea out of that because it really does have a nice lemony flavor. Doesn't look like much of that survived. And lemongrass. We had an awful time getting lemongrass to grow 2 years ago. Last year it grew well, and this year it seems to be thriving and surviving. So let's take a look real quick at the brassicas and such. These guys look good. Marigolds look good. Marigolds, unsure. We've got some dill there on the end. We'll put that in the ground, see what it does. Here we've got broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and some cabbage. And there's also a couple peppers mixed in there. So we'll get these guys in the ground and intermix some herbs and some marigolds between them, which tend to keep the pests away. And yeah, that is the goal of the weekend, is to get everything in the ground that we possibly can. We do have some peas and beans coming up. It's been pretty slow. I haven't seen any potatoes or corn come up yet, but there's some peas. And some of the volunteer beans that were out here, they got nipped by freeze last weekend. They're actually coming back. So I'll give you more detail, show you more of what's going on in the garden as the weekend progresses. So stay tuned.